St. Louis Cardinals baseball. On the banks of the Mississippi, a long homestand kicks off tonight. We're at Busch Stadium, and it's game 1 of 4, the Miami Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals. Erica Weston is here. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's Brad Thompson. Welcome to the broadcast booth here at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals had that long road trip that finished up with 3 out of 4 against the Mets, exciting wins, and 5-5 overall. So tonight it kicks off too with a very good right-hander for St. Louis. It's been outstanding here at home, and that's Miles Mikolas.
Miles has been great. His overall numbers for the year might not look as good, but at home, man, he has been fantastic. Last year, this year, his last 4 outings here at home, he's gone 7 innings each time. Miles feels comfortable here at Busch Stadium, and he's going to need to today to get this homestand started on the right foot.
Cardinals last week took 2 of 3 against the Marlins, and they saw their right-hander, that's Mr. Hernandez.
Elieser Hernandez was very good against the Cardinals. He's got a nasty slider, punched out 7 there, commanded his fastball well. And look, when you pump strikes and you've got a good off-speed, you got a good chance to have success. Hernandez was very good last time out.
Should be a lot of fun. The former Marlin is in the lineup tonight for St. Louis. Loves hitting against his former team. Also a roster move. The studio tells you about that when we come back.
The young red hot in New York. Arcia give it everything. They just couldn't get him out, and he made him pay at key times in that 4-game series. 7 for 17, the 3 home runs, and he drove in 5. Arcia give it everything. Cardinals shortstop Paul DeJong. Wasn't only DeJong, a lot of home runs hit. Goldie yesterday, Wong over the weekend, Dexter Fowler back-to-back games. Does it continue in game 1 tonight? Baseball next. St. Louis baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer.
Some rain during batting practice here in downtown St. Louis at Busch Stadium. It's game 1 of a 4-game series. The Miami Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals. Erica Weston, Brad Thompson, Dan McLaughlin with you. 73 degrees. And Brad, it'll be the right-hander Miles Mikolas with start number 15.
Well, I'm sure that Miles is ready to get back home. He's been so good here and ready to get another look at the Marlins. Last time out didn't go great for him. The one big swing changed it. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Miles Mikolas. Fastball, curveball, slider. Every once in a while you'll see the changeup. And one thing we know we'll see a lot of from Miles today is a lot of strikes.
Curtis Granderson, 16 years in the big leagues. He's had a couple of 40-plus home run seasons. And the GMC lineup, Granderson at the top, Garrett Cooper, who hit that grand slam off of Mikolas last week. Then Anderson, Castro, Ramirez, Alfaro, Riddle, Rojas, and the pitcher batting ninth, Hernandez. What's nice to be back home, first of 4 tonight against the Marlins. Then a guy named Albert Pujols will be here on Friday night, off day on Monday, and then the Oakland A's, Don Mattingly and the Marlins 25-44. The Cardinals 2 games above the 500 mark, and we're underway. Should be a fun homestand.
Should be a blast. It's always nice to get back home, but little something special over the weekend. Certainly business to take care of with the 4 games preceding it.
Wong to his left, spinning, and makes the play. Round the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Bader, and Fowler in the outfield. Matt Carpenter, Paul DeYoung, Colton Wong, and Paul Goldschmidt along the infield, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. Here's Garrett Cooper, batting .306. Could be an all-star for the Marlins. 6 home runs and 20 runs batted in. And that pitch is in there for a strike. And as you talked about, Miles, the numbers may not be there where they were a year ago, but he's throwing strikes. That has not changed. There's a ground ball to Carpenter, and there's out number 2.
Tell you what, that's another thing that hasn't changed either, is Miles Mikolas being able to get in the kitchen of right-handed hitters. I mean, nobody is able to square him up inside. Very well executed pitch right there by Miles.
And it brings in Brian Anderson, one of the top young players that they are building around with the Marlins, hitting .242. He's popped 7 home runs and 28 runs batted in. Cardinals last week took 2 of 3 against Miami and really shut down the Miami offense. But then again, a lot of teams are doing that across baseball.
I think that you're going to have a lot of that with the Marlins. As you mentioned, a guy like Anderson, he's young, he's talented. There's going to be ups and downs, and when you have a roster full of those guys, it's hard to have a ton of success.
DeYoung charging in a 6-pitch inning. The tag applied by Goldschmidt. 6 pitches. That was it for Mikolas. And the Cardinals come. Matt Carpenter at the Cardinal lineup with 9 home runs, hitting just .218. He's driven in 25. Cardinals fresh off of 2 of 3 against Miami, 3 of 4 against the Mets in the win column. Speaking of the Mets, Paul DeYoung, season's worth of numbers over the weekend against New York, and then Goldschmidt, Ozuna, Fowler, Molina, Wong, Bader, and Mikolas. Cardinals facing the right-hander Hernandez, who was effective against St. Louis last week down at Marlins Park.
It's the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Eliezer Hernandez. Fastball, slider, changeup to the lefties. And you're right, he was very effective. He pitches well with his fastball. He establishes it, and specifically to the righties. The slider comes right out of that same arm slot, has good late life. It was very effective. 7 punch outs.
And there's a strike, 2-1. Exciting weekend at Citi Field. 2 of the games, the Cardinals trailing in the 8th. Came back to win it. Then game 3, Jack Flaherty, your out of position players, is your potential tying run at first base. 9th inning, thrown out at the plate. And then yesterday, the Cardinals only 3 hits, but yet they managed the victory. Inside corner, Carpenter never swung the bat, and a strikeout for Hernandez. Granderson, Riddle, and Ramirez in the outfield. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Anderson, Rojas, Castro, and Cooper on the infield, and Jorge Alfaro is behind the plate. Alfaro is one of the better defenders in terms of the arm. He's got a cannon, and we saw that against the Mets. The Cardinals were very aggressive, especially with Syndergaard on the mound. They had 6 steals in that game, but that may not be the trend here in the 4 games against Miami.
No, you pick your spots. Maybe Hernandez will give you a little something. He's actually pretty quick to the plate as well. So, look, it doesn't work all the time. But I do like the newfound aggression here for the St. Louis Cardinals.
I love it.
League in steals. And I cannot wait until it's a thing that's a luxury as opposed to a necessity. Recently, I mean, they've had to push it. But when the bats start going a little bit, I'd love to see how they utilize the running game as well.
Take it just a bit low. DeYoung now up to 13 home runs, and he's tied with Marcell Ozuna with 13, and the team leader, or rather Paul Goldschmidt, the team leader is Marcell Ozuna with 18. Popped up to the right side and out of play.
Well, the Cardinals are playing the Marlins, as you well know. Not this guy, though. Paul DeYoung, he's playing the Mets for the foreseeable future. Just see that jersey out there. What a series he had. What a career he's had so far against the Mets.
And the 1-2. And DeYoung yanks it down the left field line. We were in Miami at the team hotel, had a long conversation with Paul, and he was telling me, even though the numbers weren't pretty, he was something like 5 for his last 65 or 70. And he said, I just don't feel, though, I'm out of whack. I know what the numbers say, but I feel like I'm locked in. He said, I'm so close. Well, he showed us he was close. And DeYoung lifts a fly ball out to left for a base hit. That is Dad on Father's Day at Citi Field yesterday and picked up that big home run. Here's Goldschmidt, first inning yesterday with a mammoth 2-run homer, his 13th.
He gets extended. Watch out. And against Hernandez last time out, he hit a double about 3 inches further. It was going to be a home run, a fastball he able to get his arms out on. Good slider right there. There it is. Get extended. Good fastball there. Vargas not overpowering by any means, but he gets the hands going. That's a mammoth shot right there by Goldschmidt. And once again, just hopefully a sign of things to come for Paul.
And Goldschmidt pops it up into shallow right. Castro spun around. The right fielder coming in. That's Harold Ramirez to make the catch. And there's 2 away, and it brings in Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna loves to face his former team, doesn't he?
The numbers have been very, very good for Marcell against these guys. And it's not even the fact that, oh, well, Marcell, he knows these guys. They've had a lot of turnover in the last year. Sometimes just seeing that jersey you used to wear, it motivates you a little bit. You just want to do a little something extra. He's done it.
So 2 outs and the runner at first base. Outfield very deep for Ozuna. He'd love to have that pitch back.
He's not going to be able to get away with one of those again if he leaves one up.
Kubota power stats, the numbers we spoke, 14 for 34. That's a .412 average. The home run, and he's driven in 4, and that home run was to right center last week. The 0-1 pitch. Bounced up the middle. They had a shift on, and that's a base hit. Rojas, the shortstop, and he's a good one defensively. He was towards third base, so Ozuna finds a hole, the second Cardinal hit.
Live by this shift, die by this shift. I mean, it's just, you know, the numbers overall bear it out, but he is way over in the gap there. This one just shoots up the middle. It was a fastball. It was a good pitch. Hernandez got what he wanted, but didn't have Rojas there.
Good series for Fowler. A couple of home runs. Also recorded his 5th outfield assist of the season yesterday. 2 outs and 2 on. And with the production, Fowler moving up in the Cardinal lineup. Jairo Munoz, by the way, has been placed on the paternity list. And Rangel Ravello comes up from AAA Memphis. There's Rangel Ravello. Saw him a lot in spring training. And all he did in the last 2 spring trainings is hit.
Yep. That's all he's done his whole minor league career. It's funny, you look at his numbers, and a comp that just comes to mind is Jose Martinez, where you play him everywhere, played in the minor leagues forever. All he's done is hit, and hasn't had the opportunity. When we do get a chance to see him in a ball game, it'll be his debut.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. It's a long time. That is a long time to play in the minor leagues. That is a lot of ball games under your belt. 838 career minor league games. 838 of them. And I'm sure there have been plenty of times for Ravello where he's thought he probably should be the guy that gets called up, and for one reason or another he's not. Well, he gets it now. Congrats to him.
And the 1-2 pitch to Dexter Fowler. Fastball tied him up and a strikeout. 2 in the inning. Cardinals strand a pair, and we played 1 here at Busch Stadium. Marlins, Cardinals scoreless after 1.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. Scoreless here in the second inning of Cardinals and the Marlins. Another roster move earlier today for the Cardinals after 838 games. Rangel Ravello will make his major league debut in his first appearance here with the Cardinals, with Jairo Munoz being placed on the paternity list. We spoke to Mike Shildt before the game about the decision to call him up. He said, "Have you seen his numbers?" he joked, and certainly so that is the case. He was mashing with Memphis, batting .333 this year, 42 RBI, 9 home runs as well. But he found out the news yesterday when he got to the ballpark, and he said it was the best Father's Day gift he could imagine. And although first base is indeed his natural position, he joked, "I'll play anywhere, even catcher, wherever they need me." But he said, "I think every player deserves to be here. I had a good minor league career, and of course my ultimate goal was to be here." He also did get the chance to work with Goldie during spring training, but he does play some corner outfield too. So Mike Shildt said if a spot comes available, we'd like to get him in the game, guys.
All right, thank you, Erica. Glad that you have recovered from the Blues parade and the coverage on Saturday, and what a parade it was. This is Starlin Castro at the plate.
That parade was awesome.
Magnificent.
This city showed out, didn't it?
It's great. 2-1 pitch. Castro looks at a strike. His OPS, Brad, is .572 on base plus slugging.
That sounds pretty bad.
And you know, it's got to be, I think, shocking for a lot of people. You know, say what you will about his defense and what happened in Chicago at shortstop defensively, but he's always been able to hit, and that .572 OPS is at the very bottom of all of baseball. On the year, batting .234 with the 4 homers and 28 driven in. His career OPS is just about 200 points higher at .724. And the 3-2 pitch fouled back. Now, part of the Yelich deal, they have a second baseman, they've got a couple of outfielders, they got a pitcher out of it, but in that deal, you know, they think that this young second baseman that they have, who by the way homered in 5 straight games in the minor leagues, is going to take the spot of Castro. But if they could trade him, you would have to think if they get anything for him, they would, because they've got reinforcements coming and young players.
Well, it's generally the plan when you're a team that's rebuilding, and I mean, there's no way around it. That's exactly where the Marlins are. You have veterans around to kind of usher the young guys along, maybe hold some places, but the hope is that those veterans are succeeding down the stretch, because it just gives you another opportunity to bolster the ball club. Now, for a guy like Castro, who knows exactly what that looks like, but you also never know what a team's going to be looking for at the end.
And a ball inside to Harold Ramirez. I was impressed with Ramirez in the 3 games Cardinals played last week. His effort, his arm, little speed, power, all stood out. Lined into center, Bader over, won't get it. And the first hit for Miami tonight off the bat of Harold Ramirez. Sometimes it's just about a chance, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is for sure. A lot of times. I mean, not everybody has the same path where you just know somebody's going to be a big leaguer. A lot of times you just got to get the opportunity to get in there, and he's done a good job with his.
103 miles an hour off the bat of Harold Ramirez, and Jorge Alfaro, former Philly and Texas Ranger. Alfaro has been involved in a couple of big deals. Cole Hamels, he started with Texas. Hamels went to the Phils to Texas, and Alfaro on the way back. And then JT Realmuto is picked up by the Phils, and Alfaro goes to Miami. Also got bonus pool money in exchange for Realmuto. Got a little pop, 9 home runs, and the 1-0. It's tied for 3rd among all catchers. Cardinals, by the way, with 3 double plays turned in the ball game yesterday. All were inning-ending double plays, and one ended the game.
Cardinals have had a lot of those this year, and they've been relying on their defense. I know that it's always been a priority, but a couple of years it was slacking a little bit. Schilt made sure it wasn't going to be the case. This defense has been very good for the Cardinals.
I think the guy at first has made everybody around him on the infield better. You know what you're going to get out of Molina. DeYoung, the analytics will tell you he's even better than he was last year. Wong may win a Gold Glove.
He better win a Gold Glove.
A lot of range, a lot of great catches in shallow right field for Kolten Wong.
I'm not even sure all of them are in shallow right field. Some of them are in right field.
I agree with that statement. He covers some ground. And Mike Schilt told me this weekend, he said, you know, Matt Carpenter's arm, while it may not be pretty at times, but his average throws are 13 miles per hour better than they were a year ago. So they have metrics on that. So when he lets it fly, it's better than it was. 13 miles an hour better.
I think we've seen it a few times this year where he's had some plays where he's knocked down the ball and then been able to still finish the play that he wouldn't have last year. The arm just wouldn't allow it. So it's not, like I said, it's not always pretty. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't matter. What's the end result? And you're right. The guy over at first base is a big time different. Matt Carpenter, I know. I mean, before the game today, everybody's out here working all the time, trying to get better and better. It doesn't just happen. But Goldschmidt, man, what a game changer. That all the picks around the bag, he's just got such a good feel for it. Look at this pitching staff. A lot of guys that pitch to contact. A lot of guys that use their defense. Dakota Hudson. I mean, he's got a ton of double plays this year.
2-2. And we'll do it again. Thought that was a step in the right direction for Dakota Hudson yesterday. And it's already been very good into May. And then what we're seeing here in June, he's been really arguably their most reliable here recently through the 5. And Hudson was falling behind a lot initially in the game against the Mets and pitching from behind, but he kept the Cardinals in it, and lo and behold, they won the game.
Not always going to have your best stuff. You're not always going to be able to have pinpoint control, but those are the days where you find out a lot about yourself as a pitcher, and certainly your manager finds out a lot. And are you able to battle, or do you just give in? And he does not give in.
Two balls and 2 strikes. And the road trip, boy, it was worrisome at one point where the Cubs defeated the Cardinals in all 3 games, and the Cardinals were only averaging 2 runs a game. And then go to Miami, you give up 2 runs in the first 2 games, then shut out 9-0, and then the Mets some dramatic wins for St. Louis. Runner goes on the 3-2. They'll avoid the double play. DeYoung quickly to first. Alfaro hustling down the line. And Ramirez to second. Toyota key to the game with Brad Thompson.
Well, home sweet home. It was a long road trip. The Cardinals are at home 20-13 so far this year. And Miles Michaelis, the guy on the bump today, man, he has been fantastic at home. Starting last year, this year has been great for him. His last 4 starts at home, he's gone 7 each time out. Be a great way to start this homestand with another great Miles Michaelis performance here at home.
You notice more and more the infielders and the pitcher, as JT Riddle steps in, are going to their back pocket to find the cheat sheet, if you will.
I noticed that last time Michaelis was throwing, I saw a little something in the pocket. I'm not sure. I'd never seen that before.
Mike Schilt over the weekend, and I could fully understand why maybe some fans didn't see it if they were at the parade or watching it, but he came out to make a change, and the infield came in on the mound, and it was like, you know, the teacher handing out the tests. You know, boom, 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 boom. Okay.
Pass, fail.
Right. You know, I had never seen that with the middle of the game.
Either. It's a different world we're in right now, and there's so much information, and it's darn near impossible to retain every bit of it. So if you have something there and you can just glance at it quickly, so whether it be counts where a guy's throwing a pitch and defensive shifts, whatnot, it's good to be able to utilize it.
So, for instance, for fans that wonder, saw it too with a couple of the relievers. You get a hitter at 1 and 2. Now, in a starter's case, he's been thinking about this start for the last 4 nights.
Yeah.
But a reliever comes in, okay, 1 and 2, JT Riddle, man at second. Tendencies are this. Hot zone here. There's a ground ball, and playing towards the middle was DeYoung. Marlins strand a runner. They pick up their first hit off the bat of Ramirez midway through 2, and there is cloudy skies. Rain is in the area, but let's just hope it stays away and we can get this one in. All-Star ballot. Send Yachty to the All-Star game. Head to Cardinals.com and the Google All-Star ballot. I don't believe there is a Cardinal that is higher than 4th in any particular spot at the latest check of the National League All-Star voting.
I mean, we could change that. You and me, you listening at home, you could go vote. I was really thinking this was going to be one of those years, though, where the Cardinals easily had like 3 guys in. But it's been a slow start for a lot of guys. But that guy, to me, that guy's an all-star. Every year, that guy's an all-star.
Fans would want to watch him. I know that. As Molina pops it up on the infield. And the catch made by the former Cubs, Starlin Castro, and it brings in Colton Wong. Wong is hitting .246, 7 home runs, and has driven in 30. All-Star ballot with Acuna, Bellinger, Yelich in the outfield. Arenado, Baez, Albies, Bell, and Contreras.
How about Josh Bell?
Great year.
Man.
Did some damage on Mother's Day here in St. Louis when he hit a 3-run homer off of John Brebbia, and then the Cardinals eventually lost that game. Pirates are 2-8 in their last 10, and they are tied with Cincinnati, 8 games out in the Central Division. The Cardinals are 3.5 out, 2 games above 500, 3.5 games out. And with that miserable May, and there's no other way to put it, it was awful, bad, miserable for St. Louis. You find solace in the fact that you're only 3.5 games out.
3.5 games out sounds like you're winning, honestly, at this point. Because you're right, it was so bad. And I just truly believe when you look at this club day in and day out, they're better than what they've put out there. I believe that the starting staff overall is better than the numbers they've been churning out. I believe that this lineup is a lot better than what they've done overall. Now, I do also understand that you are what your numbers say they are, and I get it. I mean, we're past the small sample size, but 3.5 games out, if this team starts doing what they're supposed to be doing, man, watch out. And nobody's pulling away. I don't look at anybody, and I know what the Cubs did to the Cardinals at Wrigley each time.
Wong into right field, and the catch is made.
But you don't see anybody just that looks head and shoulders better, you know? There are flashes of it. Sometimes the Cubs, you look at their rotation, you're like, man, those guys are really rolling. Sometimes Milwaukee gets the offense going and say, man, these guys are tough. But overall, the Cardinals can play with both those teams.
It's been a tough year for the Marlins, and when you look at the numbers in major categories of offense, they're either 29th or 30th in most categories. So it's an offensively challenged club. Pitching wise, you know, they're in the middle of the pack maybe on some categories, but the one thing that Don Mattingly can point to, the starters' ERA. The starters are 7th best ERA in all of baseball.
Really good.
They're 25 and 44, but the point being, you get around a starter, get to their bullpen, hold them offensively, which you should, have a chance to have a fun stretch of 4 games.
Oh, yeah.
Should be that way when you're at home.
Oh, you're right. And just speaking from the Marlins point of view, I mean, look, you need good starting pitching. They're happy. They were the last ball club to have to utilize a 6th starter. And
right.
It was Eliezer Hernandez who was that guy against the Cardinals. Caleb Smith ended up having the hip injury. But they've been very good. Jordan Yamamoto was awesome against the Cardinals in his debut, being the 7th pitcher used. Little breaking ball right there to Harrison Bader. Love to see him get another one of those. Gets it inside.
3-2 the count. Got the breaking ball, but placed perfectly on the inside corner.
Same pitch. Bader thought it was in.
And the 3-2 pitch now to Bader. And Bader hits a high fly ball, but that'll stay in the ballpark. Granderson in front of the track and makes the catch. Cardinals go 1-2-3. We head to the third in a scoreless ball game. Now for T-Mobile's connection to the game, the Padres and Rockies. What a series for San Diego. Set a modern day era record. 92 runs in the 4-game series. Yankees already in first place. They'll introduce Edwin Encarnacion tonight. Stanton expected to return tomorrow. Aaron Judge only a few days away. And Justin Upton make his season debut. He's been dealing with turf toe. Expected to be in St. Louis this weekend.
Dan, I don't think I'd like to be a pitcher in that Padres-Rockies series.
There's a lot of guys that got out of that series with inflated ERAs. 92 runs.
A lot of cardio there, backing up bases as well.
Whiplash, necks hurting a little bit.
Had that too.
You got over it though.
Here we are.
Another ground ball. There's Carpenter. And he makes the play. Miguel Rojas retired. That's 6 ground ball outs to start this game for Michaelis.
It's when he's at his best. He's pounding the strike zone. He's staying down. He's getting in on the righties with his fastball as well. Weak contact. That's what Miles was all year last year. He's not a big strikeout guy. Even when he gets to 2 strikes, he doesn't necessarily try to bury everybody. Misses barrels.
Upton, by the way, is in the lineup tonight for the Angels and is homered. So is Trout, Ohtani. Angels are up 10-1 over Toronto. Albert Pujols is not in the lineup. Albert this year is hitting .235 with 12 homers and 39 runs batted in.
He is still one of those guys where you know how dangerous he is, and especially in a big spot. And I know the overall numbers haven't been great, but the clutch numbers are still there for Albert. Just something about those moments elevates his game a little bit. And chances are a 3-game set here is going to be a pretty big moment for him.
I was thinking the same thing, what he might do to rise to the occasion. Michaelis is first strikeout. A little pressure on Brad Ausmus too, with no DH. So, you know, Pujols is DH'd an awful lot there, but
you got to get him in.
Well, you know that the fans are wanting to see him play. He wants to play.
And I get it. That's not exactly Brad Ausmus's job, is to have the Albert Pujols, you know, comeback tour. But I mean, come on.
It's pretty special here. There's no doubt. Granderson looks at his strike, back to the top of the lineup. He grounded out to Wong first time up. So first time through the lineup, no walks and 1 base hit. That was Ramirez, and left stranded back in the second. Be very special here on Friday night, and a buzz in town leading up to it. Up the first base line and rolls foul.
I bet even for Albert, with all the great moments that he's had here, and certainly there will be emotions, I wonder if there's any like nerves as to what is the reaction going to be, because which I think is crazy, because I think it should be standing O every time he's up, but I know that there are a few that are still upset about the way that he left, and as you always mention, hey, feel how you want to feel. It is what it is, but also realize what you got the opportunity to see. 2006, 2011, Albert written all over those things. They don't happen if the man isn't the machine throughout those years.
And a ground ball foul. I had the
chance to visit with John Mozeliak today, the Cardinals president of baseball operations, who actually drafted Pujols and was in the draft and development, then assistant GM, and now to his current title. And I said, what are your emotions? Take away the baseball, but just knowing this man so well. And he said, well, look, I've been around Albert since he left. We couldn't come to an agreement, didn't work out here. He said, but I hope fans will take the time to recognize him, even if you're frustrated, for what you're talking about, the great 11 years that he had here in St. Louis. And you're right. I always say it. You pay your money to come to the ballpark. You bought your ticket. You can boo, you can cheer, you can sit, you can stand. It's up to you. You're a fan. But I do think the majority of fans will give him a rousing ovation when he comes through. And it'll probably be every time he's up. And I also think the sidebar of this is, you know, teams are trying to win. They're not out of the race. And the guy on the mound is trying to get him out. The guy behind the plate is one of his best friends who recognizes those moments. That's hit out to right. Fowler won't get there, and it drops in for a hit. My point being is, how much is enough? You know what I mean? There's still competition out there, and you're still trying to get him out. And I realize it's a special set of circumstances, but that guy on the mound wants to get him out.
The first at bat's going to be very special, and Yadi will do a great time of giving him a little bit of time to get in the box. So whether it's him out there, you know, cleaning off the plate or whatever it is, Yadi will do a great job at that, as he always does. And then after that, I do believe that the situation will dictate how quickly he gets back behind the plate. Close game, tight one. Albert's up. Look, sorry, man, got to go back to work. Maybe we get a chance tomorrow.
I'm going to throw something at you, too, and for our fans. This is Garrett Cooper now at the plate. Grounded out to third. Adam Wainwright is close to returning, very close. And one of the days that is a potential option for number 50 to come back is Friday night.
Woo.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
It would be. A little throwback right there. You talk about two competitors, man. Adam Wainwright going against Albert Pujols. They may be good buddies. They may be friends. They will call and text after. Neither one of them wants to lose that battle.
Remember when Wainwright started the All-Star game and Derek Jeter took him deep?
Yep.
A lot of talk as to whether or not he threw a cookie there. He wouldn't do that, Brad. He's going to get him out.
Yeah, this ain't no All-Star game.
No, sir.
These
a little different.
These count.
That would be some moment, though. Wainwright against Pujols on Friday night. And it may happen.
Uncle Charlie and the man. The machine. That'd be a lot of fun.
2 balls, 1 strike here on Garrett Cooper.
Got to be careful with Cooper. He's the one that took Miles Michaelis deep last time. It was a fastball that he was trying to go in, ended up away. It was a grand slam for Cooper. Really the one swing of the bat that totally changed things. Yachty wants the fastball up. He gets it there. You kind of tell by the take that he's looking off speed.
Hit down the right field line and out of play. Flashback to the 12th of June just last week, and Michaelis knew it, and so did Cooper. He hit the grand slam. When Michaelis left the ball game, it was a deficit of 5-0. And I really wasn't paying attention because the Blues were trying to win the Stanley Cup. I'll admit it.
You know, honesty is the best policy is what they usually say.
Right.
I mean, you didn't have to, but that's fine. And honestly, I know the overall numbers weren't flattering in that game, but Miles pitched a lot better than that stat line. That same inning, there was a couple of flare base hits on off-speed pitches. There was a double play that could have been turned that wasn't. a walk and then the grand slam. I mean, it could have looked a lot better.
There's a line on Michaelis, 78 pitches that night. First inning tonight, only 6. Second inning, 20. And this would be pitch number 22 of the inning here in the third.
I love the approach in the first inning. It was 6 pitches, and everybody loves that, but it was all fastballs, just all heaters. Here it is, come hit it, 3 ground balls. I like that style for Michaelis. Sir, he has great slider, very good curveballs, changeup's good as well, but he can establish that fastball a little bit more. I think he'd have the quicker innings.
And the 3-2 swing and a miss. Couple of strikeouts for Miles Michaelis. Struck out Hernandez and gets Cooper with Granderson at first base. Coming up for the Cardinals, Miles Michaelis, Matt Carter.
Swing USA coming up Thursday in the Women's World Cup. Fox and the Fox Sports app, FS1. All the games. Women's World Cup, Sweden, Team USA. That'll be Thursday at 1 Central.
Miles Michaelis looks at a fastball and a strike. In the ball game yesterday, we saw Carlos Martinez with 2 scoreless innings to finish it off, as Mike Schilt did not go to Jordan Hicks, and Mike said that was, you know, by design in terms of nothing wrong with Hicks. It's just Martinez looked very good, and we rolled the dice with him to get the final 3 outs. I have to wonder, and I did ask John Mozeliak about this, and I said, you know, you look at it, it's game number 71. Carlos Martinez, guy's a weapon. Do you think about the rotation again? And he said, well, the way that the game unfolded yesterday, you know, you could look at it by design that if Mike and his staff want to go that direction, that's 2 innings there. You know, he may have an off day tonight. You can go back tomorrow, but the point being, you can lengthen him out, and it's something to maybe keep in mind as we go forward.
Well, especially with all the other options down in the bullpen. I mean, you could utilize him in that kind of super hybrid role if you wanted to, where he can do just like that. He can throw 8-9 for you. Maybe it's 7-8. Maybe it's 6-7-8 someday, or 7-8-9, and then you build up. And if you feel it, first of all, it's all about him. How's he feeling? How's the shoulder? How's he bouncing back? But be a nice weapon to be able to insert into the rotation, certainly.
Carpenter with a high fly ball into deep right center. It's at the wall. Goodbye. Number 10, Carpenter. And it's 1-0 on the solo home run.
Now the Cardinals got something going here. This one just ends up being center cut, changeup up in the zone. Really nice, easy swing. You see Matt Carpenter just stay back, let the hands do the work, get this thing up in the air. The Cardinals got themselves a lead.
And now it's to Young. Seven home runs were hit by the Cardinals the 4 games against the Mets. And Mike Schilt on the road trip was talking about, when you look at his offense in April, it was an offense that did stuff like this, damage. And he said, if we're not going to do that, we have to have situational hitting. We've got to generate it. As DeYoung lifts a fly ball out to left, Curtis Granderson over to make the catch. And you hate putting too much on just 1 or 2 individuals, but let's face it, Carpenter, Goldschmidt, those are big names, big bucks, and you want to see big results.
Well, you look around baseball. Look at all the great teams that are out there. You have great guys in the middle of the order that have to carry the freight. So whether it be in the division, if it's a guy like Yelich, well, he's doing his thing. You look at Rizzo, Bryant, those guys doing their thing.
The fly ball into shallow right, and the catch made by Ramirez. Carpenter, the home run, is 10th, RBI number 26. One swing, and the Cardinals have a one-run lead. Check back in with Erica.
Thank you, Dan. Some positive pitching news for the Redbird rotation. Adam Wainwright did throw a bullpen earlier today. Mike Schultz saying he will likely start later this week, either Thursday or Friday. He also said it will be Daniel Ponce de Leon who gets that vacant starter spot on Wednesday. Now, we got an update on Mike Myers as well. He was transferred to the 60-day injured list with the Ravello transaction. He said, Mike Schultz told us he's ahead of schedule right now, being out with that lat strain, but he did throw a bullpen today. They'll throw another one on Thursday based on that. It looks like they'll create a sim game for him either here on Sunday or potentially in Florida. So some good news with the arms for the Redbirds.
All right, thank you, Erica. And here's Brian Anderson. 1-0 Cardinals on the Carpenter home run. Soft liner just out of the reach of Wong and into right. Base hit for Brian Anderson.
There's not a second baseman in the league that is going to make that play, yet I got a feeling that Colton Wong's mad at himself that he didn't make this play. I mean, he made this way closer than it possibly could have been. He's shaded way up the middle against Anderson. You see it on his face right there, the disappointment. He lives for those plays.
It's one where you talk to the players and they say, well, the scouting report had me a step or two towards the bag, and I wish I would have just been the other way and make that diving catch. You got to wonder, if you're Don Mattingly, you've got nothing to lose. This is clearly a rebuild. You get Anderson at first base and you say, let's just roll the dice. Let's hit and run. Let's try to be as offensive minded as we can. We have 0 to lose. Why not?
It's an idea. I mean, look, you got to get something going. Now, you want to make sure that you're not going full-on reckless, but offensively, as you mentioned, they find themselves at the bottom of the barrel in basically every category. So what do you do? How do you shake it up?
And Brad, they've only scored 27 runs in their last 10 games. And the offense for Don Mattingly, runs per game, they are 29th. Home runs last, and this is in all of baseball. Yep. Walks last, average 25th, slugging percentage last. So my point is, if you get somebody on, go for it. You got to try to generate offense somehow.
Where are they adding caught stealing?
That would be something to keep in mind, and that's yanked foul. And this is not to disparage the Marlins.
No, you're
it's
right.
Just the numbers are what they are. They're facts, and then you think about trying to get it going.
Well, look, the Cardinals have had to go through some of this as well. While their numbers don't look like the Marlins do currently, they've had to figure out ways to jumpstart the offense. And what have we seen? We've seen a lot of stolen bases. We've seen runners on the move. We've seen some bunts, playing a little bit of small ball.
Well, the players and everybody right now in the ballpark concerned. A young fan apparently was hit with that line drive. Even Carpenter looking back. Michael is stepping away. Castro shook up. Albert Almora Jr. had that scary moment for the Cubs, their center fielder, while in Houston.
Carpenter certainly concerned over there. Really hope that young fan is all right.
Here's a 1-2 pitch and a double play ball. 6 for 3 on the double play.
Starley Castro, no stranger to the double play, had hit 13 coming into it. That's number 14. Great pitch by Miles Michaelis, got him out in front, got the ground ball he needed.
Going back in the dugout, it looks like with a heavy heart, thinking about that young fan, and hopefully everything will be all right. Here's Ramirez, who singled to center field back in the second inning. 331, couple of homers, has driven in 16. Carpenter talking there with the third base umpire. Tom Hallion, also our crew chief, and I'm sure that conversation is about the fan. Well, you just have to be paying attention, and I'm not sure there were folks that were paying attention down that left field line.
Well, and you know this, even if you are paying attention, balls coming the way that these guys hit the baseball, I mean, very difficult to protect yourself.
3-1 the count. 2 outs and nobody on. 1-0 St. Louis. 3-2. Since May 30th, the Cardinals are 10-6. Best record in the Central Division, third best in the National League. Atlanta's been red hot. They're 12-4 and they lead the East. Dodgers 11-5, and there's another ground ball. Colton Wong puts it away for the out. A lot of ground balls hit by the Marlins tonight. And we move to the bottom of the fourth here in St. Louis. Full outs. The Rawlings Kids baseball glove is coming up, and also the Cardinals blood drive, 18th, 19th, and 20th. RedCrossBlood.org to find out how you can get involved. Young fan had a lump on top of the head, but still here at the ballpark, and hopefully everything will be all right. If we get further word, we'll pass it along.
Yeah, you have to at least think that that's good news, that they were able to be there still in the seats as opposed to having to be rushed off. Very scary down there.
Ozuna with a line drive and a base hit into center. He's 2 for 2, and both have been to center field.
Hernandez tried the same thing twice against him. It was the fastball going up in the zone. The first time was a ground ball up the middle. That time shoots it up there, line drive.
Marcell had parts of 5 years with the Marlins, two-time All-Star and winner of the Silver Slugger and Gold Glove in 17. Now Dexter Fowler struck out swinging with 2 runners on, first time up, and a shift on the right side, and Cooper able to pick it on the throw over.
I feel like Marcell might have some fun playing this game.
I know this, he wants to be in the lineup every single day. And I talked to Mike Schilt specifically about Ozuna 2 days ago in New York, and the way he described him was gamer. He said banged up, day game after night game, wants to be in the lineup. He said it's really difficult for me not to put him in the lineup because he makes it difficult by producing, and also the fact that he wants to be in there every day.
You know there's going to be a knock on the door if you don't have him in there one day. I love it. I mean, those are the same things that we always talk about with Yadier Molina, and it's one of the reasons we love him so much is just wants to be in there. It doesn't matter if he's got a little something going on, little injury, little nagging thing. Look, wants to play ball.
And the 0-1 pitch. Now the Cardinals made it a point of emphasis base running this year, and in particular first to third on a base hit, a single, and I don't think anybody
exemplifies that any better than Ozuna. He's been the best.
Yes, he has. He's getting great jumps. He's been very aggressive. I would love to see Hernandez throw Fowler one of those changeups that just stays up here.
The 0-2 pitch. And Fowler grounds it left side. The shift was there. And he beats a throw to first base.
Well, Fowler got the changeup. It just was a good one. It was down in the zone, got the ground ball. Good job by Dexter legging it out, though.
Now, with everything we said about the Marlins struggling offensively, hey, the Cardinals had 3 hits yesterday, and this would be a prime candidate for a hit and run. Again, it's a way to get you going.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Yachty handles the bat better than anybody else on the team. They've already proven. I mean, they're not afraid to put stuff on while he's up there.
Room on the right side. See Yachty trying to shoot it that way. Molina first time up, popped out to second. Cardinals lead Major League Baseball in base running, runs added. It's getting yourself in scoring position and first to third, various things of that nature. The 0-1 pitch. And time called.
Really effective hold right there by Hernandez. You can see Fowler was getting a little jumpy over there at first base. Sometimes as a pitcher, the best thing you can do is just hold the baseball. You don't have to pick over all the time. You don't have to be incredibly fast to the plate, but you do have to vary your looks, and you do have to be able to hold the baseball.
Nothing in 2. And the 0-2 pitch to Yadier Molina. Foul back. Yachty's still one of the toughest in baseball to strike out.
The funny thing is, too, when you watch Yachty and you look at his approach with 2 strikes, and certainly, I mean, he just hangs in there so well. But it's not like he shortens up his swing a tiny bit and just tries to put it in play. No, he's still hitting the baseball. He hits it with authority with 2 strikes.
He's 4th in Major League Baseball 2-strike hitting. And this time he strikes out. Number 4 for Hernandez tonight, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th.
He went upstairs with the fastball the pitch before. This time mixes it up. Usually against the righty, it's the slider. This time Hernandez goes with the changeup, spots it down and away. Really, really good pitch. Pitch a little bit backwards. When you get a guy that has such a good approach with 2 strikes, you got to mix it up.
Cardinals have a 1-run lead on the Carpenter solo home run, his 10th of the year. The first Cardinals left-handed batter with 5 straight years of 10 or more home runs since our colleague Jimmy Edmonds. He had 8. 2 outs and a runner at first. .346 the average for Wong the last 15 games as he's picked it up.
It was a really hot start for Colton Wong. Kind of cooled down through May. Who didn't? And he's picked it right back up.
And Wong hits it down the right field line, and it hooks foul.
His hands are so fast. The way that he just pulls them in, gets to that ball, even the ones that are off the plate.
And now a word from Great Southern Bank.
Emptied your digital wallet? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
That fan that got the sore hand looked like the guy in the Great Southern Bank commercial.
I was thinking the same exact thing. Like, what are the brothers? My goodness, what timing. Very fortuitous.
2 balls and 1 strike.
No, it doesn't even hurt that bad. I'm on a date. Leave me alone. No, it's fine. Everything's fine. He's doing the laugh cry. No, it's fine.
It hurt.
Yeah, it hurts. Put your hand in front of a rocket. Doesn't that happen every time, too? Is somebody sticks their hands out, they knock it down, and then the guy next to him picks it up like it was an amazing feat. Look what I found. Yeah, no, totally just caught it.
Here's a 2-2 pitch to Colton Wong. Fowler, your runner at first base. Marlins shifted a bunch against the Cardinals last week, and that has continued here in Game 1 of this series.
Trying to give themselves any advantage they can. As you mentioned before, runs are at a premium for the Marlins this year. So if they can figure out a way to maybe stop the opposition a little bit, and the shifts have done it around baseball.
And Wong lifts a fly ball out to deep right. Ramirez there under it and makes the catch. Cardinals strand their 3rd runner of the night. We head to inning number 5. It's Cardinals baseball brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals, and by Seidman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. School out, summer here, young fans here at the ballpark. And taking in a little baseball on this Monday night. Jorge Alfaro, JT Riddle, and Miguel Rojas against Miles Michaelis, who is allowed no runs on 3 hits.
Miles doing a great job once again of just pounding the strike zone, missing the barrels, lots and lots of grounders. Defense stays on the toes.
Yeah, 9 ground ball outs. Good pitch in on his hands.
I know this. Defenders love to play behind a guy like Michaelis, who's always around the zone, always competing. He's not picking corners. Good fastball in. And that's a huge key for Miles Michaelis, is being able to get in on the righties. Really sets up everything else away.
Another ground ball. Carpenter to his left and got him. As you mentioned, just enough on the throw.
Yeah, doesn't always have to be perfect, doesn't have to be a bullet. Nice ground ball again from Miles Michaelis. And Miles Michaelis mixes it up a little bit. You know, hitting's all about timing. Pauses at the top, messes with the timing a little bit, and throws the good breaking ball down and away. Gets him right out in front, and Carpenter makes a play.
JT Riddle grounded out to short first time up. And the 0-1 pitch, check swing, did not go. Good off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2.
Michaelis pulled the string on a changeup here. You don't see him throw that one as much. I mean, that's great downward action right there. Arm looked just like the fastball. Sold it really well.
And Riddle pops it back in foul. Be an enigma where that one lands. Out distribution, couple of strikeouts, 10 groundouts and a flyout for Miles Michaelis. So 1 ball out of the infield for an out, and hit a couple of soft liners that he gave up hits with.
Yeah, did you say that was an enigma where that lands? See what you did there.
Riddle.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
It was really bad.
It's not lost on me.
Okay.
I'll tell you that right now.
Seeing if you're paying attention.
I'm impressed is what I am.
And another foul ball. They have a ticket program, Brad, this year. Danny's Magnificent Kids. And they were here at the ballpark tonight from New Owner High School here in St. Louis. They had a chance to come down. They went down on the field, came up to the booth, and great to visit with kids and their parents from New Owner High School. A base hit here into center field for Riddle. 1 out hit, and the 8th place hitter, Miguel Rojas. 4th hit for the Marlins.
Miles Michaelis has gotten himself plenty of ground balls. Great time for one right here. Rojas isn't a guy that does a ton of damage. Well placed fastball can get your ground ball.
Rojas is grounded into 10 double plays. Castro grounding into a double play back in the 4th. Helping with that ticket program from Cardinals side of things is Tim Woodrum. And Tim, thank you for everything you do and helping out so many people in our community. He is the best. 0-1 pitch. Lined foul and out of play.
I know those kids were having a blast up here today. It's fun to be up here.
Yeah,
see what you do.
I say, kids, this is where I put you to sleep every night. Need a nap? Just, you know, turn up the volume. Tom Mee, our great director, said, don't worry, Dan, it's not every night. Thank you, Tom. Great support always from the truck. Swing and a miss. And a strikeout, number 3 for Michaelis. Are you awake?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Definitely
I don't have to
awake.
worry about you.
I'm always awake.
You have a little bit of energy when you come to the ballpark with your coffee and whatnot.
Always ready.
Now Mitch Smith to my left. Debatable. Marlins 0 for 6 thus far in the ball game with runners on.
Tell you what, Miles has just looked so comfortable out there, and I think the couple of times in this inning we've seen him pause at the top of his delivery. Just tells you how comfortable he is right now in his mechanics, that he can mix some things up, that he can try to throw the hitter off that way. Oftentimes when you're battling yourself out there, you don't have time to play any other games. He's really just got in great sync today.
You know, my daughter just texted me, and she's getting ready to play a golf tournament in Quincy, Illinois, and she said, no, Dad, you're right. You put me to sleep every night. Thanks a lot, Avery.
I was just going to ask if she was going to head into bed.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Perfect. Got you on.
Appreciate that, Avery. And good luck tomorrow. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hernandez. He struck out his first time up and pops it up to the right side. Colton Wong near the line and makes the catch. Michaelis has held the Marlins off the board here through 5. A Carpenter home run, the difference. 1-0.
News presents this in Cardinals history. Andy Van Slyke, terrific outfielder. See more at Fuse.com. Spent 4 years with the Cardinals. Hit .259 with 41 home runs. 8 seasons, though, with Pittsburgh. And that's where he blossomed. 2-time All-Star, won 5 Gold Gloves. And everybody thought it was, including Andy, an April Fool's joke. April 1st of 1987. He was traded with Mike LaValliere and Mike Dunn for Tony Pena. The Cardinals had a very good year in '87, 1 game short of winning the World Series against Minnesota. But Andy went to Pittsburgh and became a terrific player, had a cannon for an arm, and a 5-time Gold Glover. That's this date in Cardinals history, presented by Lou Fuse. And Andy tried to come back in 1996 with the Cardinals. He keeps himself, if you see him even now, in incredible condition. And
yeah, he looks like he could play right now.
He had a little bit of an injury towards the tail end of spring and may have had the best spring of anybody after taking a year off. And if not for the injury, probably makes the team. And at that point in his career, the Cardinals were talking about him going down to the minor leagues, starting on the then disabled list. And then apparently, obviously an injury would happen with somebody and you bring him up. But he said no mas, lives here in St. Louis. Of course, his son played for the Dodgers for a number of years. Then went overseas into Japan and is back here in St. Louis and played with the Marlins. As Bader pops it up. Alfaro will give it a look near the screen, and it's out of play. And Andy has done an awful lot for those in our community too, and I really appreciate his friendship. Andy Van Slyke, debut 1983, this date in Cardinals history, presented by Lou Fuse. Bader's had the opportunity to pick the brain of Andy Van Slyke, Jim Edmonds, Willie McGee. I mean, we've had some stalwart defenders in that outfield.
It's great to be able to have those guys around, and it's even better to utilize them. And I know that Harrison Bader is one of those guys. While he is very confident in his skill set, always looking to get better, always picking the brains of all those guys. Could be about hitting, could be about a read in center field, anything.
And Bader pops it up again and foul. Well, you're a fan, and let's say that you bring the glove and it's time to give it away to a younger fan. I like that. Nicely done.
That's well played, sir.
Now you get the camera time that goes along with it.
Oh, that's right.
You know that gentleman, you say, Dan and Brad, hey,
we thumbs up. Yeah. We're happy with your performance.
First of all, made the play
right
in between hop. That wasn't an easy play. And then has the wherewithal to give it to a young fan.
Down the left field line off the bat of Bader. It is foul.
And not by much. Yeah, I think that Cardinal fan is still celebrating the Blues because he had the playoff beard going. Either that or he loves ZZ Top, or maybe both.
Probably both. This thing just foul. Bader getting every bit of that one.
Nice work, sir. Pat Maroon shaved his beard. I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, like who's this guy wearing the maroon jersey on the parade route?
Strikeout number 5. It's unfortunate that the hockey players just don't know how to enjoy themselves when they win. I mean, you know,
very straight-laced.
Yeah, I mean,
the whole celebration.
Really like them to enjoy the moment.
Yeah. And that Stanley Cup has got some stories.
If it could speak, oh my goodness.
I saw it at a pool party in Vegas yesterday.
Yep.
It's been well traveled.
Then the players individually will get the cup for a certain amount of time, and they throw parties with it.
What a cool tradition.
It's awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, you know that every sport, you know, there are a lot of people that are involved in the success of a player. You know, a lot of people along the way, and you get that day to share it with them however you want, your family, your friends. It's pretty neat.
Barrett Jackman came up just short. There he is here at the ballpark. Longtime Blues defenseman and former Rookie of the Year that was paired up with a Hall of Famer his first year, and that was the great Al McInnes. And I thought about Al and Bob Plager and Bernie Federko and Brett Hall and so many that have given blood, sweat, and tears to the organization that were part of the celebration.
Had the opportunity last week to talk to Barrett about being in Boston when they clinched, then coming home, and he said the next morning he woke up his son early, took him down to the rink and said we're going to go see the cup, and got to touch the cup with his son. Said it was a crazy emotional moment and something that he'll never forget. That's what I love too, is how ingrained the alumni is with this team. It just seems like an extension of the Blues team. It's a big family over there. They do a great job.
Oh, and 1 the count on Carpenter. Shift on the right side. Why not bunt here? 1 strike, not 2. And he's thinking that direction.
It's a 1-run ball game. They get an opportunity to do something. Some guy wearing a maroon jersey, signing autographs. Hey, the Blues did such a great job of this, interacting with the fans, being there. I mean, Pat Maroon is a legend. The double OT winner, Game 7 against Dallas. My goodness.
Carpenter against the shift. Nobody there. Why not take 2? It'll be the shortest double of his career standing up. Unbelievable. Why not bunt? Of course you bunt. And he picks up a double.
If someone gives you a gift, you accept it. And that's what Matt Carpenter did. The gift was going to be the single. He got a little something extra, put something on it, realized there's nobody over there. He's going to have the opportunity to continue to run.
The exit velocity of 38 miles an hour, literally. I don't understand what the Marlins are doing with 1 strike there.
I don't either.
I don't understand that defense.
Maybe they got some numbers we don't have. Now you got to make it hurt. You got to make it hurt.
Here's Paul DeYoung. Just to finish your point, as it pertains to hockey and baseball, saw this explosion of players that came from the Georgia area in Atlanta with their success in the 90s. I got to wonder if there's going to be an explosion, another wave of great young players come through, because these young fans saw what happened with the Blues and were swept up in it. And the teaching and coaching here with all the former Blues is as good as it gets.
It really is. And I'll tell you what's gone on at the Thompson household the last week plus is my son gets in the goal, because we have a little hockey set in the basement, and he's Jordan Binnington.
Sure.
And he told me, he's like, I said, hey, Benny, nice stop. And he's like, you can just call me JB. I'm like, all right, dude.
It's awesome.
All right, JB.
Here's a 1-1 pitch, and that's low and outside. But once again, congratulations to the Blues, and I'm sure at some point on this homestand when the team comes back from Vegas and the NHL award show, they'll have another night here at the ballpark. 2-1 the count on DeYoung, who singled to left field, also flied out to left. Carpenter, your runner at second base. And a pickoff, and Carpenter back in safely.
Cardinals, all their runs yesterday via the bulk of the runs via the home run. Home run today by Carpenter. Base hit will do it here.
Way out in front, hit it a mile high down the left field line, and another souvenir for the folks here at the ballpark.
You can just stay back just a little bit. And I thought Jim Edmonds yesterday on the telecast pointed out how with a guy like Vargas, not only do you stay back, but then you look away. Not to say that you're going to do that with Hernandez, but so slow, go the other way. And when the Cardinals did that, a little success. And in this particular instance, staying back on that off-speed pitch.
Especially after seeing him before.
Into shallow center, Castro, and it drops. DeYoung at second base. Carpenter scores. The unlikeliest of ways to score, but the Cardinals will take it, and it's 2-0.
That's how you manufacture a run right there. It's a bunt double, and then a fly ball
into the Bermuda Triangle. 3 players converge on this thing. Nobody ends up with it.
That's Riddle coming in, Castro out, and no one got it. I'm not sure anybody touched it. They're going to give the air to Castro. That'll be his 7th. So no run batted in for DeYoung. And now let's see if Goldschmidt can really make him pay. Twice he has flied to right, 0 for 2. That hung up there a long time. Much easier for the center fielder to make that play.
You could tell he was calling it, but maybe the way that Castro was running out for it just didn't hear Riddle.
And DeYoung was hustling and winds up at second base.
No surprise there.
It's the way the game is supposed to be played.
That's the thing. You end up there, you're on second, then that next weird play that might just happen. And this has been a really weird inning after Matt Carpenter's bunt double. That one drops in. He's on second. He scores next time.
And the 1-2 pitch to Goldschmidt. Check on DeYoung at second base. Cardinals first 2 struck out in the inning. Bader, Michaelis, then against the shift, a bunt that turns into a double, and a pop-up that should have been caught. Scores a run. Two balls, 2 strikes. Outfield is deep. Shade him just a bit to right field. Marcelo Zuna on deck, who is 2 for 2. When we talk about getting in a ready position, let's see if he walks into the pitch or moves it all with the pitch. Just a little bit. Hit left side, cut off at third, and a nice play by Brian Anderson. Brad, you mentioned how during the parade the players got involved and handing off the cup not only to the fans but to each other. What a day, what a moment, and what a time here in St. Louis. All right, Jimmy, thank you. 2-0 our score. Top of the lineup for the Marlins. And here is Curtis Granderson, drafted by Detroit. And now here he is, 16 years later, 7 teams and nearly 2,000 major league games after
making what he said was $1,100 a month in Lakeland, Florida. Race to the bag, and Michaelis is there. It's been a great career for Curtis Granderson.
It really has. When you have a group of young, talented players, and the Marlins do. They've got a lot of young guys that they believe are going to be the future. You better have somebody on your roster that can show them the right way, and Curtis Granderson's been playing this game the right way his entire career.
Won't see him swear. Doesn't throw tantrums. Doesn't yell. And they talk about that he is, to your point, the leader of the team and a great model for a young Marlins team.
You know he's not happy coming into action today, hitting a $178, and I bet the way that he carries himself on a day-to-day basis, you would never know it. The work that he puts into it every day, you would never know what the numbers are, what he looks like, what he's doing on the field. It teaches the young guys how to work, how long the season is.
You never know. This could be the final chapter of his career. Have to wait and see if a team would want to add him down the stretch.
It happened to him last year.
0-2. The count on Garrett Cooper, and a swing and a miss, and strikeout number 4 for Miles Michaelis. The $4 Budweiser tickets are right around the corner. So affordable still to come to a Major League Baseball game, and $4 tickets thanks to Budweiser. Cardinals.com/4, and that'll be June 25th. The A's are here. Here's Brian Anderson, 1 for 2. Hit a soft liner into right field for a single, grounded out to short. 2 outs and nobody on. Depending on how it unfolds, I would think that Mike Schilt would love to get Jordan Hicks a little action tonight. Maybe even a non-save situation if that pops up.
I would like that to pop up, not because I don't want to see Jordan Hicks throwing in a save situation. I'm pretty sure that we all feel comfortable about that, but you'd just love to see this offense start putting together some crooked numbers. Get that going.
Hicks not used yesterday in a 1-run game. Stayed with Martinez. Final 6 outs of the ball game. And it's 2-2. Been a good pace to Michaelis tonight.
Just very in sync. He gets it, he throws it, and he's been pounding the zone with every single one of his pitches. Curveball. We've seen more of the changeup today actually than we've seen in a while.
Jordan Hicks has pitched twice, 2 innings, 21 pitches since June 7th. The 22-year-old waiting out there in the Cardinal bullpen. 3-2 the count on Brian Anderson. You've been in that bullpen, Brad, variety of roles, and fine line for a manager to keep a guy sharp. Don't want to overuse him, especially when a guy can throw 105.
Sometimes you want to be able to build in a little bit of rest and a little bit of a break for a guy, and maybe that's part of the thought process there. You need him fresh at the end.
And a base hit into left on the 3-2 delivery.
But you can't get to the point where you get stale either. So it is a fine line, and that's where you have to have communication with the player. Bullpen coach is a big part of that. Brian Eversgerd down there talks to his guys daily. There's Starlin Castro at a 7-pitch at bat, fly to right in the second, and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the fourth. 0 for 2. Right before the pitch, Carpenter moved 2 steps to his right. I mean, right when it was coming. And if he stays put, he probably makes that play. It's a base hit for Castro as he had just moved towards the line. Just a breaking ball up right there.
Watch this. Oh.
You aren't lying. I mean, that thing is center cut. Price sees the sign, also knows the breaking ball's coming. Want to protect down the line because Castro hits it that way. And once again, I guarantee you look it up, the numbers bear it out that he doesn't usually put it in that hole. But he does on that one. It's all about Miles Michaelis now bearing down, executing the pitch here.
I'm sure part of that conversation there with Castro is the pop-up that dropped. Talking there with his first base coach. Now Harold Ramirez. Be careful with this guy. Hits the ball hard. A couple of home runs, has driven in 16.
Definitely got to be heads up on the left side of the infield too, because he hits a ton of ground balls and he scorches them.
Marlins right now as a team 193 the average with 2 outs, runners in scoring position. One ball, 1 strike. You can tell that this young man doesn't get cheated.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to go the other way right there. He's trying to take the lead, as he should in a situation like this.
Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Michaelis got the first 2 and then back-to-back singles. And the 2-1 pitch, 2-2.
Well, Miles got a couple of options here. You know that Ramirez is swinging. He's looking to do something big. He will chase up above the zone. So if Miles thinks that he can locate that fastball up, now it's dangerous in a situation. This guy hits fastballs really well, so he's going to have to make it up above the zone. But if he could execute that pitch, he can get him to swing through it.
Giovanni Gallegos begins to throw in the Cardinal pen. And the 2-2 by Michaelis just off the plate. So the runner's off with a pitch, ball in the gap, and we could be tied. 3-2, 2 outs. Big gap in left center. Full count on Harold Ramirez. Here it comes. And a fly ball out to Bader. Positioned perfectly. He was shading him a bit towards right center. And the Marlins strand a pair. Midway through 6. Cardinals on top. 2-0. The Cardinals with the lead in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Ozuna, Fowler, and Molina. Marlins have actually out-hit the Cardinals 6-5 in this game. Home run by Carpenter in the 3rd. A bunt double against the shift in the 5th. Aaron Castro on a pop-up from DeYoung allowed Carpenter to score, and that's been it tonight on both sides.
That was one of the weirder scoring sequences of the year,
for sure.
Bunt double, fly ball to center field, 3 players converge, nobody touches it.
Ozuna hits it off the end of the bat, and that'll roll to Stubby Clapp. Stubby telling me he was a junior B hockey player. I said, well, how good were you? And are you following the Blues? He said, definitely following the Blues. And good enough that I played with a lot of guys that made it to the NHL, including one Ed Jovanowski, who was a terrific player. Stubby from Canada, and then gravitated towards the game of baseball.
Yeah, but his nose isn't all messed up.
No, not a lot of scars. Hanging tough. I wouldn't mess with him.
No, me neither.
One and two the count on Marcell Ozuna. And he yanks it foul. Well, thus far it's been a very nice, pleasant evening here in the Gateway City with rain off and on throughout the day and this morning and right up until our first pitch. Marlins last week we saw really sparse crowds, and here we are on a Monday night in St. Louis, and folks in the upper decks, bleachers, big crowd. A little different here in St. Louis.
Yeah, a little bit. We're fortunate, very fortunate to draw the crowds that the Cardinals do.
Ozuna, Hernandez, the out. Trying to pick up his third hit, and he's 2 for 3.
A pretty good play right here by Elieser Hernandez. Goes behind the back, knocks it down.
Yeah, if it gets through there, it's probably a base hit.
Yeah, no, it was hit pretty hard.
Look what I found. Here's Fowler. And strike one. 3 infielders on the right side. Dexter has struck out swinging with runners at first and second to end the first and grounded into a fielder's choice. And now with 2 strikes, there'll be 4 infielders on the right side. Last time they did this, it was with 1 strike with Carpenter up. And they're going to switch Anderson and Rojas up the middle, so he goes back to shortstop, and there's a foul ball. As a pitcher, as much as this shift is in play, you know it's a part of the game, but the exaggerated shifts, would this bother you?
You know what? You try to let it not, but you're very aware of it, or at least I would be. I mean, you know before the pitch, you know where your guys are positioned, you know where you want to throw a pitch. And it might creep into your head sometimes, and everybody's different, that, man, if I throw this fastball down and away to Dexter Fowler, if he just sticks out his bat, there's nobody out there. Now, you do realize when you run through the numbers that even if you throw that fastball down and away, well, his tendency is to pull that ball. Like, so you know that, but I don't know. I think it creeps in a little bit.
Fowler hitting .320 against the shift this year. A lot of times we've seen him let the ball get really deep and just slap it the other way. One, two.
Tell you what, Hernandez has done a very good job against the Cardinals in his 2 starts. The slider's good. He competes well with the fastball. He changes eye levels. He was a guy that threw out of the pen for them last year. Had a couple of stints on the DL. Really didn't find any traction, but started getting better at the end of the season. Wasn't scored upon in 12 of 17. And he gets the opportunity again here, and he's done very well.
And Fowler lifts a fly ball into shallow right. Catch made by Ramirez. 2 outs, and the batter will be Yadier Molina. Molina tonight has popped out to second, called out on strikes in the 4th. Hernandez has done a nice job. He's kept the Marlins in this game with 6 strikeouts, 5 hits, and really it should be a 1-0 game.
Yep.
'98th pitch. That's a career high now for Hernandez, as Molina's way out in front. Tomorrow we'll see Jack Flaherty And Jordan Yamamoto defeated the Cardinals last week. 0-2. It's our Budweiser What's on Tap. Will come your way at 6:30. And we do know that Daniel Ponce de Leon will go in Game 3. Budweiser What's on Tap. 0-2 pitch. Michael has had back-to-back starts, including last week, just over 70 pitches, and the one before that was at Wrigley Field. When you see a pitcher with the towel and conversation, that
he's done.
Yeah, that means his night is through. And Molina pulls it left side, sliding for it. Anderson, nice play, and takes a hit away. And the Cardinals retired 1-2-3. It's now up to the pen as we head to the 7th. JC Healthcare Maker, and it's a look at Cardinals home games this season, and played very well here at Busch Stadium, 5th best in the National League, and the team ERA 3rd best. And Mike Schill will turn it over to his bullpen to get the final 9 outs. And a guy that has been really good, 11 consecutive scoreless innings coming into this appearance. Giovanni Gallegos, our Chevy call to the pen.
Giovanni has been great, and he's carved himself a new niche. I mean, he's in some great ball games. This one here, you got a 2-run lead to protect, and he's proven he can give you more than an inning. In those 11, he struck out 12, hasn't walked anybody. Just very, very aggressive.
It's like to me, he's got variations on his breaking ball. Some a little harder, a little sharper than others. But he is getting people out, and that's one of them right there. Good pitch. After a lot of time he spent in the minor leagues, and getting a shot with the Cardinals and making the most of it.
The breaking ball here just tight. That's nice 12-6 curveball break, and you're right, he'll throw another one that's a little bit harder, with a little more side-to-side movement.
Final line on Miles Michaelis, 6 innings, no runs on 6 hits, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Love to hear that.
Continuing his dominance at home. Been so good at Busch Stadium, not just this year, but last couple. They needed that outing out of him.
Staying away from Alfaro, and it's now 1-2. Alfaro tonight grounded out to short and also to third. As Carpenter on his slow roller had a range to his left to make that play. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Giovanni Gallegos.
It's the fastball, the slider, the curve, a little bit of changeup, and what he calls his slider. I mean, it tends to look oftentimes like the curveball. I don't care what he calls it. It's nasty.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout. Elevated the 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
He's got Alfaro looking for the breaking ball. Seen a couple of really, really good ones away. Then he climbs the ladder right here, 94, right over the top, coming out of the same slot as the breaking ball. I mean, this thing is up at his neck, and he can't stop himself.
Here's Riddle with Carpenter in on the grass. Ground ball taken there by Goldschmidt. He'll step on the bag for the second out, and the batter will be Miguel Rojas. On their bench they have a switch hitter, Rosel Herrera. You got Brian Holiday, who is the backup catcher. Austin Dean from the right side, and Rivera as well, Yadiel Rivera. Gallegos trying to make it a 1-2-3. Luke Voigt Every time I see Gallegos, hard not to think about the St. Louis product playing for the Yankees. Those two traded for each other. Chasen Shreve in Memphis. He has had a slow start to his year. And Luke Voigt has not. Now, average not great. Power has been. Bader on the move. Right center, and he won't get there. And a 2-out stand-up double for Miguel Rojas. Austin Dean will be the pinch hitter for Hernandez.
That's the first extra base hit for the Marlins. And you guessed it, last in that category in Major League Baseball. And again, not trying to pile on. It's just the numbers are what they are, and set the stage that, you know, this should be a series when you're at home and you're pitching like the Cardinals have. This should be a series that you play well in.
Oh, you certainly should. And it's been very difficult. And as you've mentioned a couple of times, the numbers tell you they're not stringing together hits. They're not. They just haven't been able to do that so far. Just continue to be aggressive. Go right after them.
First pitch, a breaking ball and a strike. And time is called. Neither starter tonight walked a man. Hernandez 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, struck out 6.
He's really good.
Yeah.
And once again, he got his shot in the rotation due to an injury. Twice against the Cardinals, he's been very effective.
The tying run at the plate, nothing in 2. Dean 3 for 7 as a pinch hitter this year. Reminder, great place to get your tickets. StubHub, even after the first delivery of that game. The first pitch, StubHub, official partner of the Cardinals. Crowd coming alive just a bit. Nothing at 2 the count. And that's hit out of play. Dean's got a little power as a club. Collectively, pinch hitters hitting .280. And the 0-2 pitch. The wave going on right behind home plate. Jim Hayes is hosting tonight, but usually he'll come from Ballpark Village and start the wave with the folks out in the bleachers. Well done, Jimmy.
Well, there's a really good chance as it goes around, it's going to hit Ballpark Village right around now. So in the studio, you know Jim's doing it.
Here's a 1-2. Doesn't chase. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 8 home runs in AAA New Orleans in just 33 games. So be careful. Dean's got a little pop. Take it high. So from 0-2 to a full count. Now you do have first base open. Not to say that you're walking him here, but you can be careful with Granderson on deck.
Yeah, I think you can be very careful. I like the idea after the couple of breaking balls to climb the ladder. Now he misses very high. In a situation, I would rather have Granderson, you know, be the guy that has to beat you.
3-2 pitch, fouled back. The Cardinals do not have anybody up, so if they wanted to counter with a lefty, no one up in the pen. And then Don Mattingly could counter right side of his bench with either Halladay or Rivera, and also the switch hitter, which could come into play. We'll see. Eighth pitch coming up.
Saw Gallegos take a peek at that card. The other reason why Gallegos would stay in the game, left-handed batters hitting 163 this year against him. Doesn't have to worry about it. Strikes out Dean. Couple of strikeouts in the inning and a scoreless frame again. That's 12 consecutive innings. Giovanni Gallegos coming out of the pen, and it's time to stretch.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball, game 1 of this 4-game series, brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And come into Steak and Shake. Get 4 meals with 4 items for $4. 444. Get more for 4 only at Steak and Shake. Wei-Yin Chen, the Chevy Colt to the pen. The lefty is in for the Marlins. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Wong 0 for 2, lined out to right, fly to right, and ahead in the count here. 2 balls and no strikes.
Not exactly what the Marlins expected when they gave Wei-Yin Chen a 5-year, $80 million contract.
No, not quite. And the 2-0 pitch. Expected to be in the rotation, and now pitching out of the pen, they carry 3 lefties. Adam Conley, Yarlin Garcia the other.
Chen making $20 million this year, $22 in 2020, and $16 million in 2021 is a vested option.
So what are you telling me?
Well, that I'm sure he would also like to get back in the rotation, but it doesn't look great currently. But he was very good. I mean, he was sought after when they ponied up and gave him that deal. They needed somebody that could eat up some innings. Just hasn't happened for him.
It's Wong to reach, and a fly ball to JT Riddle. There was even talk that Wei-Yin Chen would start opening day at home for like an inning or 2, and then that would be it. I mean, the road numbers for Chen, not great.
Yeah.
To be kind. And have him start that game and then go to their pen. Well, you never know. Guys can turn it around. We'll see if he does. Harrison Bader fly to left on a 3-2 pitch, caught looking in the 5th. So he narrowly missed a home run by a foot or 2 into the upper deck. And the 0-2 pitch, and he strikes out here. That's 7 Cardinal strikeouts here tonight to go along with 5 hits. So 16 2/3. The Cardinals have picked up 8 hits. Rondell Ravello in a major league debut. Love to see these. Tommy Edman this past week picked up his first ever major league hit in New York. Native of Cuba. He's in the White Sox and A's organizations. And Ravello looks at his strike. Again, Jairo Munoz put on the paternity list. At one point, he had a 19-game hitting streak in May, which was 1 game shy of the Memphis AAA record. And Ravello grounds it to first, and the out. Nice round of applause for the young man to make his big league debut here in St. Louis.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. John Gant in relief of Gallegos, a scoreless 7th, 12 consecutive scoreless innings for Giovanni. A couple of strikeouts in that inning, gave up a base hit and stranded a runner, and it's our Chevy call to the pen, John Gant.
Well, John Gant has been so good out of this bullpen. Went 3 innings against the Mets on Friday, 9 ground ball outs, just attacking the zone, and his overall numbers have just been unreal.
First pitch here in the top of the 8th to Granderson, swinging away and skies one into left. Ozuna, and one away. So 1 pitch and 1 out. Second of 6 Goodwill autograph nights Friday, June 21st at Ford Plaza. One current player will sign autographs for fans 15 and under, and a former Cardinal will sign for fans of all ages. Cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Garrett Cooper, and a base hit. Yes, the idea is, scouting report is that he's around the plate and don't let him get strike one. Be aggressive.
Well, which is fine, honestly, the way that John Gant throws, because he does spot up really well, and that right there is a ground ball. That's hit 5 feet either way. It's an out. So Gant's one of those guys that can kind of use that aggression against you.
There's Brian Anderson, 2 for 3, and again the tying run will come to the plate. Cooper now with a 10-game hitting streak. Yeah, we were talking earlier, Brad, about all-stars. You're starting now to get to that crunch time of voting. You got to take a look at John Gant. Right now, 13th best ERA, 1.66. First in baseball reliever wins with 6, and he's 7th in innings pitched. Why not John Gant? There's a foul ball. Tell me I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely not wrong. Would love to see him be represented in the All-Star game. He's had an All-Star campaign this year. As you mentioned the numbers where he ranks. Would love to see that for John Gant.
I never understood when it was this one counts, that guys like this that get overlooked.
So what do you mean? If it counts,
he should be in. Right.
I'm glad it doesn't count anymore.
I'm with you. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Anderson. And that's lined, and that's a double play. Goldschmidt steps on the bag, and the Cardinals turn their second double play of the night. And it's a 5-pitch inning for John Gant here in the top of the 8th. Thank you very much. Bottom half coming up. Back in the 3rd inning, Matt Carpenter went deep. StatCast AI powered by AWS. 8th hardest hit for Carpenter this year. And there's a strike from Chen in his 2nd inning of work. Well, a 5-pitch inning by John Gant. And I'm sure the temptation for Mike Schilt is to say, well, throw him back out there as good as he's been this year. But as we talked about before, you got to, at some point, get Hicks into a game, and it's at this point, a safe situation.
I feel very good about handing it off to Hicks and letting him go do his thing in the 9th inning. It's been so great for you, and he needs the work. It just provides you more opportunities to get Gant in the ball game tomorrow. Maybe you have to extend him a little bit longer. Cardinals got some good options down there.
Sure do. And the 0-2 pitch against the shift, taken high. Now last time up, Carpenter, with 1 strike on him, was facing a shift like that, bunted towards the 3rd base side and turned that into a stand-up double. He's got 2 games with extra base hits of more than just 1 in a game, so he's done this now twice, and the other time was March 31st. So it's been a while.
Mike Schilt always talks about a player's toolbox. You know, what you have in there, how can you succeed? Being able to lay that bunt down, that's a good one for Matt Carpenter.
2-2, slowly hit to the right side. Who wants it? And Carpenter beats that out.
What a night for Matt Carpenter. Are you kidding me? Home run, a bunt double, and now he beats out an infield hit. There was a little hesitation. Who was going to get that ball?
And it gave Carpenter about a half step and needed every bit of it. Play was really slow to develop, but nothing slow about Matt Carpenter coming out of the box right here. Once again, all right, look, you got a gift there on a nice infield single. They were slow to get to it. Matt was hustling. Now what do you do with it? It's a big run sitting out there.
Here's to Young. He is singled tonight. Fly to left, reached on an air, and looks at a strike. Cardinals yesterday win the game with 3 hits, and thus far they've got 6 hits tonight, and that includes an infield hit and the bunt double. Cardinals have been out hit tonight 8-6, and over the weekend in 2 of the games they were out hit and won those games.
It's just been weird the way that they've been doing. You got to credit them for battling, getting the hits when they need to, but you know this offense is capable of more, and they're certainly going to need more. I mean, if you want to catch the other teams in your division, I know the Cardinals are only 3.5 out as play started today. Offense is going to have to get going. DeYoung, well, he doesn't necessarily have to be the guy that he was at the beginning of the year. Love the direction he's heading right now, and they're going to need him. They're going to need Paul Goldschmidt as well. Matt Carpenter to get back to the form that we're used to seeing him at.
And the 1-2 chopped foul past Pop Warner. Cardinals are proud to announce the inaugural African American Heritage Night on Wednesday, June 19th. Purchase of a special themed ticket. Take home a unique St. Louis Stars t-shirt. Tickets at cardinals.com/theme. Carpenter is 3 for 4. The rest of the Cardinal lineup 3 for 24. It's starting to change. Single up the middle. Carpenter stops at second base, and the first 2 have reached for Paul Goldschmidt. Another 2-strike hit for DeYoung, and both his hits have come with 2 strikes.
Just a good up the middle approach right here. Chen leaves this little cutter, center cut, and DeYoung does a good job of just going right back up the box.
Cardinals, well, bunching some hits here together. First time back-to-back hits for the Cardinals in this ball game. Austin Bryce, the former Red right-hander, will face Goldschmidt. Straight change. 2 runners on, nobody out. Goldie coming up in this. This telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Everything blue right now in downtown St. Louis. Brad Thompson, Dan McLaughlin, Erica Weston. Post-game show will feature Al Raboski and Jim Hayes. Our Chevy call to the pen, Austin Bryce to face Paul Goldschmidt. Twice he has flied to right, also grounded out to third. 2 on, nobody out.
This kind of feels like a moment that Goldie should break out right here, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Saw the home run last game. Get that swing going again here.
And Goldschmidt lines it into right. And the catch is made. So there's 1 away. Paid attendance 41,274. 41274. 3 games at Miami. The total was 18,817.
That was in 3 games, you said?
Yes, sir. So 1 out, 2 on. Marcell Ozuna 2 for 3. He was robbed by Hernandez, reaching behind his back, the pitcher at the time, to make the play.
Pretty good numbers right there with runners in scoring position. A lot of the homers that Marcell has hit, guys have been on. He's hitting them in big spots.
Neither team has received a walk in this game. The last time it happened with two teams and no walks was May 24th when Atlanta was here. The 1-0. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, you're wanting a moment, you might get it from this guy. He's come up big time and again this year.
That's certainly against his old team. Something about seeing that uniform.
Yep. He is locked in right now. Three 3-0, and you know he's got the green light. Austin Bryce made his major league debut August of 2016. Claimed off of waivers from Baltimore. And last year made 33 appearances for the Reds. Soft liner and caught. Broken bat on a 3-0 pitch with Ozuna up. Didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't. You knew he had the green light, as you mentioned. He's trying to just unleash right here and let it eat, but this thing eats him up. Fastball just gets in his kitchen. Marcell unhappy, throws the bat. Get a couple of hits to start this inning. Carpenter and DeYoung need to have something to show for it.
So here's Fowler, who struck out, grounded into a fielder's choice, fly to right. What concerns me about this game from the Cardinals' perspective, number one, the offense, you've got 7 hits, but they have been bunching them, and the Marlins, to their credit, are hanging around. You know, first and second with big bats coming up, nobody out. You're thinking at least 1 run. You hope that Hicks is sharp. And Fowler drives it out to deep right, at the wall, gone! I wanted the insurance. I got it. Dexter Fowler with his 8th home run. He now has driven in 25, and it's a 5-run St. Louis lead.
Cardinals get the first couple of guys on. Goldie flies out to right. Ozuna, broken bat, and then Dexter Fowler gets this one down the middle, puts a great swing on it. You could tell he knew that thing was getting out of here, and there's your insurance. 5-0. Great stroke right there by Dexter Fowler. Man, they needed that. They needed that badly. Get a couple of guys on. You lose a little steam. You got 2 outs. Ozuna 3-0 swinging, gets sawed off, and Dexter shows up big time.
It's his 3rd home run in the last 4 games for Dexter Fowler. And, you know, to me, prior to that, the momentum shift could have been big for Miami.
Oh, yes.
That'll close the book on Wei-Yin Chin. 1+, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 strikeout. And 1-2 with 2 outs on Yadier Molina. 0 for 3 tonight. Spoils that pitch. Molina's popped out to second, struck out looking, and Brian Anderson with a sliding play to his left on a ground ball.
Tell you what, that's how this lineup should be for the Cardinals. You have a pitcher that, you know, maybe he feels like he got out of a little bit of a jam. Bryce got Goldschmidt. He gets Ozuna. It's like, all right, I got room to breathe. Not so much, because you got a guy like Dexter Fowler stepping up, doing his thing. This lineup should be very, very long, and it's shown it at different times. That was a big time to step up right there by Dexter.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Yadier Molina.
And a strikeout of Yadi. 8th Cardinal to strike out. Dexter Fowler, the home run to right. Just over the wall. Brings in 3. 5-0 Cardinals. Our Budweiser player of the game tonight, the Cardinals starter and Florida native Miles Michaelis here against the Marlins. 6 innings, no runs, 6 hits, struck out 4, no walks.
No, he did what we see vintage Miles Michaelis do. He attacked the zone with everything, got a lot of ground balls, used his defense, missed barrels, and he was great. Bullpen has taken over, has been great. Dexter Fowler with the 3-run home run to provide a little bit of cushion right there after a couple of guys get out after the first 2 get on. A lot of good things in this ball game.
Some major league debut. Ronel Ravello grounded out. Chevy called to the pen. We've also seen the Cardinal bullpen. Gallegos scoreless 7th. Gant scoreless 8th on 5 pitches. And now Jordan Hicks. At 2 of the hardest throwers in this series. Jordan Hicks has had 215 pitches, 99 miles per hour or better. Teheran Guerrero of Miami, 167. They're 1-2 in that category. And another ground ball to Young. Infield busy tonight, 1 away. This is coming into this appearance for Jordan Hicks. Hard throwers.
That's pretty good.
They're ahead of Aroldis Chapman, who
by a wide margin.
I think if you ask most fans this time last year or maybe beginning of the season, everybody say, well, Chapman's the hardest thrower. It's not close. It's Hicks.
I think that you still ask people right now,
yeah.
And a lot of them would think Aroldis Chapman just because of over the years. There's been a changing of the guard here.
And Yadi caught that one and says he's all right. To tell you how the game has changed, in all of baseball this season, coming into this ball game, there have been 2 throughout Major League Baseball, National League, American League, that have completed the game with neither side receiving a walk. 2. Cardinals had 1 of them, and now they're trying to make it 2 out of the 3. That's incredible to me.
Well, we're in an era where it's OBP is life. Guys working counts, fouling stuff off, taking walks. Guys not commanding the strike zone quite as much. To me, I enjoy this. I enjoy teams that are coming and pumping strikes and going right after one another. Saw 2 guys, 2 starters today specifically, that were pitching, and it was fun to watch.
And the 1-2 pitch by Hicks. Ground ball. Wong. 2 away. If it holds, Cardinals will have their 3rd shutout of the season, and all will be at home, and they're 1 out away from doing that. Brings in Alfaro. Grounded out to short, grounded out to 3rd, and struck out against Giovanni Gallegos in the 7th. Marlins down to their final out. And another ground ball. Wong, he's there. Cardinals take game 1 of the series. It's a shutout. Their 3rd of the year, and all 3 right here at Busch Stadium. 5-0 the final.
Little bit of everything you'd like to see in this ball game. Miles Michaelis was great. Gave you 6 strong. The bullpen came in. Did a great job as well. Gallegos, Gant, and Hicks. A couple of big-time home runs as the Cardinals get this homestand started on the right foot.
Coming up, Jim Hayes, Al Raboski. They'll break it down. A 3-hit night for Matt Carpenter. A win for Michaelis. A win for St. Louis.